Every so often with Joomla, every 4 to 6 weeks or so, Joomla puts out a new release. While I've been recording this course, I've been working with Joomla 3.0.1. And just today, Joomla 3.0.2 was released, and I heard about it on Twitter. I follow a lot of Joomla people on Twitter, and I have an account there, and this is my method of finding out what's the latest stuff that's going on inside of Joomla. If you don't want to follow Twitter, you can always go to Joomla's Facebook page, and if you like it, you'll get updates in your feed. That would indicate that there are new Joomla releases. Joomla, of course, always puts out a blog post, something on their homepage. You can get that by RSS feed, or you can subscribe to an email newsletter that will email you when there are updates that are available. So I know that there is this new version of Joomla that's out, and I definitely need to upgrade because the 3.0.2 release, as I know, again, from following Twitter and reading about it, has a couple of interesting things. It is bug fixes for a number of things, including something called language overrides, which I'll cover in the next chapter. And there's also some new functionality for multi-language websites, including something called associations. I'll cover that in the next chapter. But those are kind of unusual. It's fairly unusual to have some new functionality in it. I think that's just because this is the latest version of Joomla. It's something brand new that's out. And they were trying to get this working. And so now that it's working, now they're announcing it. But usually these updates have got, as I said, bug fixes or security issues. And they're very important that you install them. Joomla's got a great interface for doing this. Very simple, one-click style installation type of thing for upgrading your website. What I always recommend you do first is make a backup of your website. If you have Akiba Backup installed, which we do here, what I would recommend is you go to Akiba Backup and run a backup of your website, just in case. You never know what's going to happen when you upgrade. If you make your backup first, make sure that backup is stored somewhere outside of Joomla's file structure. And if you upgrade and things go badly, you can always roll back to your backup. If you've already got your website launched and it's hosted somewhere else, you can always copy your website down to your server that's in front of you, your WAMP or your MAMP machine, and you can upgrade your copy of Joomla there and make sure that upgrade is going to work. So you sort of test it in advance. And you can use Akiba Backup to transfer those files from your local machine to the web server, or you can use the zipping your files and making a copy of your database, as I've showed you in this course. So either way will work. Now, right here from the homepage of the website, if you scroll on down here, you will see here that there is some notification buttons down here in the lower right corner. And these mean two different things. So one, this is telling me that Joomla is up to date, which is a little puzzling because I know that there's Joomla 3.0.2 is out. I'll go through that in a minute. The other thing that's here is that there are more updates available, and it indicates that there's one of these. If I click on this, this is going to take me into my extension manager. And what this is telling me is that there is an update to the Italian language package. I may also find updates here for some of my extensions, so new versions of Akiba Backup or new versions of my editors or any other third-party extension on my site may show up here if those third-party extensions have integrated fully with Joomla and they are using Joomla's notification system. The language packages are part of Joomla's core functionality. They're sort of an optional thing that you can install, but they're maintained by Joomla.org, so they are integrated with the updating system. So I'd like to go ahead and install this update here for Italian. All I need to do is put a check mark next to it and say update. And this will go ahead and tell me that it has installed the most recent language package for Joomla. So that's all set and ready to go. Now, in terms of Joomla and updating it, as I said, I know that there's a new version of Joomla available, although the icon on the homepage is telling me there isn't anything. Well, if you go to Components, Joomla Update, this is where you go to update Joomla. And as you see here on the screen, it says there's no updates available. You already have the latest Joomla version, 3.0.1. Okay, so what am I going to do? Well, here inside of your options, if you click this is going to give you some information about what kinds of updates that Joomla will pull down for you. So by default in Joomla installations, this item here where it says your update server, it is always set to long-term support. Now, I hope some of you who are watching this video sometime in the future, if you're running Joomla 3.0 or 3.1, I would hope that they switch this to short-term support, but I think they've got it set to long-term support for a reason. And the reason is actually Joomla 2.5. What they don't want to have happen with people who are running Joomla 2.5 websites is we don't want them to be getting notifications saying Joomla 3.0.2 is available, you need to upgrade. And really, once you hit the long-term release, which in this case will be Joomla 3.5, you don't want to keep updating all the time to the latest versions. But if you're running Joomla 3.0, you need to be getting those updates and you need to be moving forward to the next version. It's important for security and it's important for bug fixing. So what you need to do here is change your update server from long-term support to short-term support. And short-term support would indicate that you'll be getting support for Joomla's minor versions. So Joomla 3.0 and its releases will become available to you, and Joomla 3.1 and its releases will be available to you. Once Joomla 3.5 comes out, you can move to that and then switch this drop-down back to long-term support again. And that will put you on the track to just stay on Joomla 3.5 until Joomla 4.5 is available. All right, go ahead and say save and close. And now, when you are returned to your Joomla update screen, which is still under Components Joomla Update, you will have a notification indicating that you can move to the next version of Joomla. And so all you need to do is click the button that says Install the Update, and it will go ahead and download the update, install it, and it says that you are now running Joomla 3.0.2. How do you know that that's true? Well, if you go back to your control panel, we enabled the administrator module that shows the Joomla version right here on our control panel. There it is, Joomla 3.0.2. Or if you don't have that enabled, go to System Information, and this will tell you what version of Joomla you're running. So there we go, 3.0.2 stable. So now that our upgrade is completed, we can hop over to the front end of the website, always refresh. Everything should look exactly the same. Nothing is going to change the look of your website when you do these upgrades. Nothing should change in terms of the functionality that you already have available, and the pages should look exactly the same. The links should still work. You should still see pictures and so forth. None of that stuff should change. If it does change, then something very bad happened as part of the upgrade and you need to roll back to a previous version. In my experience, I've been updating Joomla sites to these minor versions for years and years and years, and it's always gone very, very smoothly. The only place I've ever had a hitch is occasionally with some of my third-party extensions, so that's why I encourage you to make backups, and so that you can always roll back if something bad happens with your particular Joomla installation.